Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Fatin binti Boragi. I will present to chapter 1, Why Project Management. Let's get started. What is a project? A project is defined as a sequence of tasks that must be complete to attain a certain outcome. According to the Project Management Institute (PMI), the term project refers to any temporary endeavor with a definite beginning and end. Depending on its complexity, it can be managed by a single person or hundreds. Characteristic of a project. Number 1, a clear start and end date. There are projects that last several years, but a project cannot go on forever. It needs to have a clear beginning, a definite end, and an overview of what happened in between. Number 2, a project creates something new. Every project is unique, producing something that did not previously exist. A project is a one-time, once-off activity, never to be repeated exactly the same way again. Number 3, a project has boundaries. A project operates within certain constraints of time, money, quality, and functionality. We will see more about this in later sections. And number 4, a project is not business as usual. Projects are often confused with processes. A process is a series of routine, predefined steps to perform a particular function, say, as expense reimbursement approvals. It's not a one-off activity. It determines how a specific function is performed every single time. The boundaries of a project. Every project operates within certain boundaries called constraints. Number 1, project scope, project schedule, people, and also resources. All of these project constraints depend on what the project aims to achieve and when. The outcome of a project result in deliverables. Anything that produced during the project development, such as documents, plans, and project reports, is considered a deliverable. A deliverable may also be the result of the project itself. Project life cycle. Often projects are divided into 5 project phases, each of which comes with a distinct set of tasks, objectives, and a particular deadlines. Dividing a project into different phases enables teams to stay on track throughout their entire life cycle. Okay, number 1, initiation. The first phase in a project life cycle is called project initiation. Here, a project officially launched, it is named and a broad plan is defined. Goals are, goals are identified along with the project constraints, risks, and shareholders. At this point, shareholders decide if they want to commit to the project. Depending on the project, studies may be conducted to identify its feasibility. For IT project, its requirements are usually gathered and analyzed during the initiation phase. Number 2, for planning, or a roadmap that will guide team from creating a project plan throughout the project execution and closure phases is developed comprehensively during the planning stage. Deadline must be set and resources must be allotted. Breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable activities make it easier to manage project risk, cost, quality, time, and so on. At the same time, breaking down tasks into digestible pieces will empower everyone involved to accomplish the project on time and stay within budget. Number 3, the execution. The project plan is implemented during the project execution phase. At this point, teams will work on the deliverables to ensure that the project meets the necessary requirement. In addition, team members familiarize themselves with the necessary status meeting and report that will be conducted throughout the phase to collect project metric. The project execution phase is a critical point in a project life cycle as it will help everyone determine if their effort will ultimately be fruitful or not. Number 4, monitoring and controlling. The project monitoring and controlling phase happen at the same time as the execution phase. It's the job of the project manager to oversee operation and make sure that everything is headed in the right direction according to plan. Aside from overseeing the project performance, the project manager have to monitor resources, manage risk, head status meeting, and reports, and so on. If unforeseen issues arise, the project manager may have to make adjustment to the plans as well as the project schedule. And lastly, the closing. The final phase of the project management life cycle, known as the project closure phase, isn't as simple as delivering the output itself. Project managers have to record all deliverable organized documents in a centralized location and hand over the project to the client or the team responsible for overseeing its operations during the project closure phase. Not only that, but teams come together for a final meeting to discuss the insight they have learned and to reward the hard work of each member. How to implement a project? Project implementation can vary based on the methodology used. In additional project management, implementation is done in 5 phases. Number 1, initiations. This phase involves making the case for the project to convince the project stakeholders. A project initiation document (PID) is created with basic information about the project, including probable resources used and feasibility. Number 2, planning. This phase occurs once a project has received approval from stakeholders. This is a critical phase that involves a myriad of tasks, including contingency planning, allocating tasks, and planning resources sharing. Number 3, executions. This is the phase when the actual work happens. Periodical review are conducted to ensure that execution happens within schedule. Number 4, monitoring. Monitoring happens in tandem with execution. Constant monitoring by the project manager is required to ensure that work goes on minus hiccups. Closure. This phase involves the important final tasks in the project, including project delivery to the client and document the learning from the projects. Once these steps are complete, a project can be said to be implemented well. When is a project considered a success? The short of it is that a project that is completed on time and on a budget can be considered a success. However, a project can be evaluated to many criteria. Number 1, does it meet business requirements? Number 2, is it delivered on schedule and on a budget? Number 3, does it deliver the expected value and ROI? What defines a successful project is likely to change based on the type of project. This is why it is important to define what project success means during the initiation and planning phase of a project. Consequence of ineffective project management. Poor project management can cascade through the many levels of an organization. Needless to say, it has a direct impact on customer or stakeholder satisfactions. The list of aspect problem contains delay, the quality, waste of resources, dissatisfaction, and also include reputations. That's all from me. Thanks for watching.